Hey everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And you all are in for a fabulous treat. You all want to stay tuned for this powerhouse woman that I'm about to bring to the stage here on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. You won't want to miss 1 second of this phenomenal speaker. This woman that I'm about to bring to the stage is absolutely incredible, and I've fallen head over heels with her mission, her values, and the different companies and perspectives that she is bringing to the table. And she is here to help you and I, help you and me take things to the next level and take our business to the next level. So stay tuned, stay with us. You won't want to miss 1 second. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. If you are tuning in here for the first time, welcome. We love to have you here on the show. And this guest I'm bringing to the stage is so exciting. Bethany Meadows. This woman is a multifaceted entrepreneur, and she's done so many different things. Her first company in 2008, Vertical Solutions Media, is a marketing agency which she focused on identifying strategic ways for companies to grow in unison with the realities of budget and marketing challenges that we all face. And then in 2016, again, this woman is unstoppable. She started her other company, Team Meadows LLC, for personal real estate investing. And this is not the end for her. This was not the precipice. That Team Meadows was goal setting on building real estate and starting and building a team and having the resources for residential buyers, sellers, and investors like you and I. She even created like a subsidiary company, cashforhouseoption.com, which was added in 2021 to help those in danger of foreclosure. Did I mention a harder goal, y'all? So, and she didn't stop there. In 2020, she started an online hot sauce subscription business box company and catered to those who love hot sauce. I'm not talking Texas Pete. This is better than Texas Pete. So if you're a Texas Pete fan, get rid of it. You want to jump on board with what this woman is doing. So help me welcome to the stage the incredible, the amazing Bethany Meadows. Welcome, Miss Bethany. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to have you here. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us and give back in this way. Miss Bethany, you are phenomenal. I've been falling in love with your companies all day. But I gotta ask, you've done it all. Apparently, you've done it all. You're an author, writer, business coach, development coach, brand marketing, all of it. But tell us, in your experience, I want to start here. What is it in your experience? What do you commonly see small businesses mess up all the time? What do we get wrong all the time or frequently?
Oh, what are some common mistakes? One of the things we got to think about as business owners is that we are the leader of our company, right? And a company cannot grow past the leader. So it can't become bigger than we are. So what's important for business owners to remember is you can't just be working in your business day to day and focusing on that. You got to always be looking forward. You always got to be up leveling your skills, reading all the books, listening to the podcasts like the one you're listening to right now. And just, take the courses, learn, always learn, because the market is never going to stay the same. It's always going to be evolving. It's always going to be moving. So if you stay the same, you're going to get left behind. So I think one of the common mistakes that we make is we think that we start a business and we just think it's going to be the same the whole time we're, in business, and it's not. We're always going to have to be evolving and learning. And one mistake that a lot of new business owners make too is not delegating. Even if we're a one-person show, we can still get a virtual assistant. We can still find ways to get things off your desk that can be done and that you can train someone else to do, because that gives you the time to focus on the strategies of growth and moving your business forward.
Yes. Yes. So right. So right. And so what I
love
hear.
your sound effects. That's so fun.
Thank you. Thank you. This is for you. This is all for you. And it's necessary because COVID-19, just like what you're talking on today, COVID-19 changed the way we do business. And even my show, my podcast was developed for a platform to give you speakers a place where you all can thrive and really continue to serve the way you have been. And just like touching on what you just said, that's the common mistakes that we make in business, is not planning, not working on the business, and not focusing on the core aspect of the business and growing the business and riding that wave. Do you feel, in your professional opinion, is it necessary to have a business plan? Why should if so, should a small business have a business plan? What's the importance and significance behind that?
Yeah, that's such a great question. In the almost 14 years that I've been running the marketing agency, I have yet to have started a relationship with a business that actually has a business plan when we started. I think the problem with not having a business plan is if you don't know where you're going, you'll get distracted by every shiny object that comes along. And there are many shiny objects out there in the marketplace, right? And as business owners, what do? We go to bed at night and we think about all the things. Like we are full of vision and we're full of ideas and we're, always like, ooh, what if I did this and what if I did that? And if we don't have a plan, it's so easy to get taken off track and get ourselves divided and lose our focus and our clarity in terms of what we're really trying to accomplish and what our goals are. So having a business plan kind of puts those safety rails on our lane, so to speak, and keeps us going in the right direction. I know even like a marketing plan, if you think about it, a lot of businesses, their marketing plan is whatever the latest salesman sells them that comes in the door. That's not a plan. So it's not integrating with anything else. So it's really important to put that on your calendar as a business owner and schedule those times to really plan and focus. And yes, a 12-month plan is great, but I would call that more of a working document, a living document, because it's going to change and evolve as circumstances arise in your business. But you can do more short-term 90-day sprints where you go, at the end of those 90 days, what do I wish to accomplish? What are my key performance indicators going to show me? And then put the steps in place to reach those in those 90-day sprints. And then evaluate your 12-month plan once again.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I needed to hear that, right? Sometimes we take on too much, right? We take on too much as CEOs. We take on too much as a business owner, and we want to do it all. We want all our hands in a pot, and we want to do everything ourselves. And that's not the case. We even though it's our business, we can't do it all ourselves. We shouldn't be doing it all ourselves. And we need to take the time to really focus on growing the business and the core aspects of the business that make the business thrive. And it doesn't all depend on just us. Not at all. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. You guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a reliable professional trucking and logistics service, you've come to the right place. Musa Trucking is a veteran-owned and operated premier transportation provider that can help with all of your trucking and logistics needs. Musa is revolutionizing the trucking industry through strategic partnerships, the development of core personnel, and the use of cutting-edge technology. Our inventory system ensures that cargo ends up divided into the right trucks and reaching the correct destination. Our drivers are dedicated to transporting goods efficiently and safely. Contact us today to get started by visiting the website on the screen or by calling 757-756-5246.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
Welcome back. We are on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and we have the incredible, amazing Miss Bethany Meadows. And she just spilled the tea, y'all. She just spilled some fabulous tea that what we needed to hear, what I needed to hear. She's talking to me. She's talking to me. And I needed to hear this. And so we are focusing on the wrong things in our business, and we're not focusing enough on growing the business. And we need to have, she's done this, y'all. She does this every single day. We need to have a business plan. And so what advice would you give to someone who is just starting a business for the first time, Miss Bethany? What's the secret sauce that you would say that the mistake that we make in the beginning, besides a business plan? What would you give to that young man, that young woman in the audience that something they need to consider before starting a business?
Yeah, when I was starting my business, I felt really alone. I didn't really know anybody else that was in business that I could call and get advice from. I wasn't aware of anything around me. And so I had to make a lot of mistakes before I got it right. And I think sometimes as a new business owner, we do that, right? We think nobody else is really going to understand what we're trying to accomplish. But if you can afford it, a business coach, business and marketing coach, we have coaching programs at Vertical Solutions Media, Thrive Coaching, where we go one-on-one. It's 2 sessions a month. Another thing is getting inside of a group membership, which we have, which is called Time to Thrive. And that gives you a chance to be with other business owners. It's a little less expensive, and you can get the group coaching and access to all kinds of marketing training without having to just trial and error your way through it. And you have, having a resource like that is so invaluable.
That's true. That's true. She's so right. And so this is a common term that you hear all the time, right? Everybody says marketing and branding. What does a brand mean to a small business? Can you help break us down and take us through that so we can really get this right? I want us to get this right.
Right. We do a whole coaching week in the Time to Thrive membership on branding, because it really isn't as simple as a logo. A lot of times when I'll ask them about their brand and they'll say, yeah, I have a logo. And brand really isn't, that's the piece of the creative assets of a brand. It's not your brand identity as a company. The fact is, you have a brand identity, whether you know it or not, because your customers' perceptions is what is your brand identity, right? What they think about you. And if you have a strong brand, it actually creates a lot of value for your product or service. And I'll give you an example. If I had a t-shirt here, and it was a blue t-shirt, it was plain, well-made, high-quality shirt. And then I had another blue t-shirt, and it had the Nike swoop on it. Now, if you have experience with Nike and your experience has been very positive, you might pay more for that shirt that has the Nike swoop on it, because you can count on that product to be what you expect. Whereas this one over here that doesn't have a logo on it, you don't know who made that. So you don't know what you can expect from that quite yet. So that's the importance of kind of building that brand identity. And some of the ways that we can do that, we do something inside of that brand coaching week called touch points, where we look at our sales funnel or our marketing funnel, right? Because marketing and sales are two different things. And so we look at the marketing and then we look at the sales funnel, and we look at all the places that we touch our customers' perception of us. And then we look at how we can up-level all of those touch points to really create a wow experience to surprise and delight our customers. And that's how we can really elevate our brand to that level where the word of mouth advertising goes viral. That's where we want customers talking about us in the most amazing ways, because those third-party testimonials are more credible to a potential customer than, a glossy ad that you put in a magazine. So really paying attention to those touch points and how we craft that brand perception.
Miss Meadows, you teach to this, you coach to this, and you educate to this. And so one of the things that we get wrong, I think, in business is that we don't tell our story. People want to know your brand story. How do I get that across to my audience? How do I get that to my customers, my demographic?
Right. So a lot of times we know what we do. People will say, tell me about your business. And then we tell them what we do. Then we might even touch on how we do it. We say, okay, well, I do this and this is how I do it. But what really resonates with people and what really connects them to you, makes it relevant, is your why. Why do you do what you do? And that is your brand story. If I go into a restaurant and I sit down and I order off the menu and I get a meal and it's a great meal, and that's that's the experience I expect. But if I go into a restaurant and on the back of the menu, there's a story how Aunt Rosa brought the recipe for the chicken parmesan over on the boat from Italy 200 years ago, and that the family has painstakingly kept her recipe just as it was 200 years ago, stayed true to that recipe, and how this is a way that they honor Aunt Rosa. And then I order the chicken parmesan. It affects my experience because I understand the why of what went into this dish that I'm eating. So in the same way, you can do that in your business. If you really dig down to the why of what you do. And Simon Sinek wrote a book called Start With Why. I mean, it's been around. He didn't originate it, but he did a really good job of explaining the process of coming up with your why and being able to communicate your why. And so that's one of the sessions that we do inside that brand coaching week, is because it's so important to being able to tell your story, is understand the why of your business, the purpose, the true purpose and mission of your business.
I don't know about you all. I want some chicken parmesan right now. I instantly became hungry. I'm sorry, y'all. That's a fat kid in me. But you're right. That's the difference between your brand and who you are and why you're even in business in the first place. And that's the core. That's the core of who you are, and that's the core of why you are here. I learned a long time ago, those who served the most earn the most. And so who are you serving and why are you doing it? If you're doing it just for money, you're doing it for the absolute wrong reasons. And so that's what I've learned, and that's what I heard in you just now. It's why are you here? Why are you building this business? Why are you building this brand? And what's your why? And make sure it's a good one. That's what I heard.
Yes. Well, and if you don't have a why, the why as a business owner is what gets you out of bed when you've had 5 no's the day before. The why is what keeps you motoring and coming up with new ideas when the last one flopped. The why is what keeps you going when it gets hard. And so if you don't have the why, there's a good chance that your business will go away the minute that things don't go the way you think they should.
You're right. You're so right. What are some, you mentioned marketing, because those are separate, right? Branding and marketing and advertising, those are all separate entities in themselves. What are some of the tips that you teach to, that you coach to? What are some out of the box marketing ideas that we're in a budget, right? This is a small business. What are some cost saving tips that I can implement today that will help me take my marketing and branding to the next level?
Yes. So I always, I call it elbow grease marketing, right? If you don't have a lot of money to spend, you have to get out of the box. You have to get creative. And I'll just give you a couple of examples of what that might look like. But for every business, that's going to look different depending on what it is that your product or your service is. But one thing, I call it piggyback marketing. So let's say you're a retail location and the store across the street from you, down the way in the strip mall, is advertising that they're going to have a blowout clearance sale on a particular day. Well, they're spending all kinds of money advertising their blowout sale. So, but you can recognize, okay, well, that's going to drive some traffic to this location that I didn't have to pay for. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I take advantage of the traffic that's going to come on that particular day or that week of the sale. So make sure that you have your signs out, or you have product out on the in front of the store to draw people in. Someone holding a little sign, flinging it around, whatever you got to do. So I would call that piggyback marketing, is just looking for opportunities where somebody else is paying to drive the traffic, and you just kind of go along for the ride. So you just got to be paying attention to take advantage of those. Another one that you can do is, I call it affiliate partnerships. So let's say you owned a bookstore, and across town there was maybe he's your neighbor that owns a vision store, where you get glasses, right? So you could go to that person and say, hey, how about we team up to help drive traffic to each other? Because we don't really compete with each other, because I sell books and you sell glasses, right? But what if I give you bookmarks to give away in your store, and you could give me, something else? And so when people come up to the counter, maybe that's something, that a little takeaway that they can get. And so we can work together, and you could play off what the different businesses are. So in the bookstore, let's say there was bookmarks there that advertised the vision place. Maybe it had some really, really small print that said, if you're having trouble reading this, come see us at, such and such vision place. I'm going to kind of think outside the box on that, and come up with really creative ways to drive traffic back and forth. We had a client in the marketing agency that owned a massage therapy chain, and they partnered with chiropractors and naturopaths and some other people, nutritionists, people in that health and wellness space, and actually put together a whole series on health and wellness that promoted all of the businesses to each other. So that was a really creative one, that using about 8 different businesses. So there's some great things that you can do that are in partnership, but don't cost the advertising budget that other things, traditional forms might cost.
That makes sense. And so do you, when you said affiliate marketing, which I love the fact that you said that and we brought that up. But one of the things I was listening for, when I hear affiliate marketing, I think dollars and money and compensation. But what you just described was even better. It doesn't have to be this money grab. It doesn't have to be, right. If I send so many people your way, you give me this dollar amount for the traffic. It's literally, we're not competing against each other, and we can help one another grow and survive during a pandemic, and it doesn't have to cost a dime, and we're still doing it.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that as business owners, that we're no longer in the 20-year ago mindset of commerce. It's not just about commerce, or transaction. It's about relationship. And we build relationships with our customers and our audience by providing value to them in some way, or demonstrating our value to them in some way. And so a lot of these affiliate partners are just opportunities for you to position yourself as a thought leader with people who are also a likely audience for you. So I think we got to get away from that whole transactional mindset and get more into how can I build relationship with my audience and my customers.
I love that. Round of applause, y'all. I love that. We have one more quick commercial break. You guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, some, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Hey y'all, we are back. We have the incredible Miss Bethany Meadows, and I had to really think about that. We just got off of the topic of asking for money, and here I am asking for money. That's pretty terrible. That's pretty bad. So I need to rework.
Well, you're providing a lot of value through your podcast, so you got the balance.
Thank you. You are too kind. You're too gracious. I appreciate that. And staying on marketing, you drop some nuggets on marketing strategies that don't cost a thing. What are some not to do's? What are some things that you tell your clients not to do when it comes to marketing? What things should they stay away from? What should we not be doing with marketing?
Oh, well, definitely. As I said before, don't chase all the shiny objects. You know, you're going to have, if you're in business, there's salespeople trying to connect with you and show you their latest and greatest, whatever. It goes back to that whole planning thing. Really look at who your audience is, where are they spending their time, and how can you show up in a way that provides value to them and attract them to your community. You know, we need to think about how we're building community. You're building a community through your podcast, which is great, right? This is a way that people of like-mindedness can come together. For other people, that might be by providing, a Facebook group where people can collaborate who are like-minded. So you really want to think about how can I speak to my audience, how they want to be spoken to. Start breaking down your target. Let me go back. I taught a workshop a couple years ago at a library here locally. I had about 110 business owners who attended. And I asked the question, who is your target audience? And all these hands went up, and I called on a lady in the front row, and she said that she made organic soap in her basement that she sold online. And I said, well, who's your target audience? And she says, well, everyone, because everyone uses soap. And I said, well, I hate to tell you, but not everybody's going to buy your soap. Because it's special, it's handmade, it's organic, and a price point is higher than average soap. So what you really need to think about is a target. What does that target audience look like that's going to buy your soap? And then break it down even more so that you have personas, buyer personas. Like, just write a whole description, write a story. Who are they? Where, what do they do for a living? How many kids do they have? Like, just write the whole story of that persona so that when you go into marketing, you're actually speaking directly to that buyer persona. You know, you look at what their pain points are and how you're solving them, and then speak to, hey, are you someone who struggles with allergies,
Smelling good.
skin allergies, or whatever? That's their pain point. Like, hey, our soap is organic, it's mild, it's not going to cause any rashes for people who are sensitive. So maybe that's one of your buyer personas. Do you see? So when you think about your business, whatever your product or service is, once you figure out those buyer personas, then you can really drill down to what their pain points are. What are they struggling with? And then how are you solving those pain points for them with your product?
It's true. I love that. I love that. And don't insult your target audience like I just did. Like, do you struggle with smelling good? Check out organic soap. Like, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. That's terrible branding, and you're gonna lose your audience. And I want to stay right here for one more second, because I really need to dive deep with you in this. And you talked about building the brand. You're talking about building that storyboard and some cost-effective ways. You talked about that earlier to draw a crowd into your business. What are some other I think we struggle with finally closing the deal. What are some lead magnet ideas that work for almost any business to continue to draw people in? And then close that sale? That's the final piece, is getting the exchange of value, getting the compensation for the good.
Well, lead magnets are really great for about the middle of your funnel, where you've kind of attracted people to you, like, oh, what's this all about, right? But you haven't quite built enough of a relationship for them to make a buy. So a lead magnet is a way that you can provide some value in a really easy way online. It's evergreen. So once you've developed it once, it'll go for a long, long time. You don't have to keep doing it over and over. And it's something that has shelf life. You know, the person who downloads it is going to keep it because it has value to them. So that could be a checklist. It could be a 10 ways to solve your pain point type of download or booklet or video, or, I mean, it could be just about anything, whatever it is that you as a business owner are comfortable developing or have the resources to have someone develop for you. But then you want something in return, right? You're not just giving it with nothing in return. So what you get in return is their email, their name, whatever bits of information that it is that you're asking for, usually a name and an email. And most people will give you that. And then you can then nurture that email with by using email automation software, right? So if you request this form, and then my system is going to send you a series of 8 emails once a week for 8 weeks, right? And in those 8 emails, I'm going to demonstrate my thought, my position, my value, my thought leadership, and provide even more value to you. There's this thing called the law of reciprocity. And it's basically, if I give you something, you feel like you owe me now. You feel like you owe me something back, right? And so as we give value to the target audience that we're speaking to, they start to feel like, wow, they've really given me a lot of value in these things that I've gotten. And so I'm more inclined now to buy when I ask you to buy something from me. And so that, so the lead magnets is part of an overall strategy of really nurturing and building that relationship with your audience from the first time they see you somewhere online or wherever, all the way through that funnel until they make a buying decision. Of course, it doesn't end up buying, because we want to then come around and upsell and cross-sell them and get referrals from them and testimonials from them and reviews from them. So there's each part of that process is what, and that's why we map those touch points all the way through, because that's how we really next level our brand and our company and really stand out in such a noisy and crowded marketplace.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I told y'all she is spilling all the tea. And this is phenomenal. This is what we need, right? COVID-19 changed the way we all do business. And so we needed to hear this. I needed to hear this. Miss Bethany, how can my audience connect with you? You've spilled so many nuggets today. How can we connect with you? How can we learn more and continue to grow with you?
Yeah, so our agency website is verticalsolutionsmedia.com. And then if you're interested in being part of our membership group, it's timetothrivemembership.com. And then we have also one-on-one coaching, which is timetothrivemembership.com/thrive-coaching. We'll take you there. So it depends on what, if you're a business owner and you're not looking to next level your skills, your marketing skills, this is a great community of business owners helping each other. And we work through live group coaching events every week. And actually, I have a guest expert come in to speak to my membership Wednesday this week on imposter syndrome, which is something we all struggle with. So I'm excited about that.
That is exciting. I'm going to have to check that out. Bethany Meadows, y'all. Miss Bethany, I want to say thank you for taking time again for being on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. You are incredible. And I love what you're doing. And awesome. We need you. And I wanted to say this to you publicly. You are necessary. We need what you're doing. And we need the change that you're making, the ripple effect because this is how we get to a better place. And this is how we do better in business. So I want to say it to you publicly. Thank you. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. If you had one more cat in the hat, if you had one more nugget that you could drop for the young man who is really scared, that young girl that's really scared about going in business, what would you say to that young boy in the audience, that young girl in the audience right now?
Oh, step out. You will never regret it. Count on failing. Count on it. It's part of the process. Failing is learning. And so don't get discouraged. Just keep moving forward. If you have a dream, if you have a mission that your business is moving on, then just keep on and get the resources that you need to support you and keep you moving forward.
Woo. Yes. Keep going. Thank you, Miss Bethany. Thank you again for that. I needed to hear that. She was talking to me, y'all. She was talking to me. And so I'm going to take that and I receive that. Miss Bethany, thank you again. You have a wonderful day. And I want to say this to you all, my audience. Thank you for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show and supporting this show and supporting Miss Meadows. We must uplift this woman. She is doing tremendous things in the world. And so we have to get behind her and support what she's doing, because the train has left the station. And so it's not too late to get on board. And so, like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your families, and always, always, always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, your favorite host, and Miss Bethany Meadows, CEO, mom extraordinaire, powerhouse speaker, and author. So have a great night. Love you guys. Bye.